Okay, I'm doing a little update on my fish room. I moved about a couple weeks ago, and I've just been really busy trying to get everything put together. So this is a official update. I feel like things are starting to come together, even though it still is pretty dirty and very disorganized, but I'm starting to feel like things are starting to come back together. All right, so this is going to be my garden tank. I do know that they actually have these acrylic plastic holders for little pots, but I don't know, my attention deficit hyperactivity brain didn't bother to try to find out what those things are called and look them up, so I bought a whole bunch of these terracotta pots. I have a CO2 system. I also have this really super cool Casa dosing pump. I think it's Casa, I'm pretty sure. Come here. I can't remember. I'm tired. It's a long night. As you can see, aquarium co-op, fertilizer. I got all kinds of fertilizer, guys. The wet spot here in Portland, Oregon. Oh, so I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm thinking that if you just have a lot of fish in there and you're overfeeding your fish make great fertilizer. So do you really need fertilizer? Probably not. I know that in the coral world, they actually say, like saltwater world, if you actually feed your fish waste is great fertilizer for your coral. So I think the same thing for plants. Probably don't really need fertilizer for plants, but I have a dosing pump. I figured I'd use it. So this is what's gonna happen once everything's settled in. So I have a 75-gallon tank down here. As you can see, I have a bunch of my filters down there in the water. I'm gonna take out my mollies. Like this has got my mollies in it, so I'll take those guys out, put them down there. I have I rescued my saltwater fish. I decided to keep them because moving is a nightmare. I did get rid of some of my saltwater fish. It's actually kind of funny. You can see the Matten filter there. So it's running off a Matten filter. And then I have my larger tank right here. But when I moved it in here, I accidentally chipped some of the glass. So I got to do a little bit of patching. But I'm actually going to do something different with the saltwater tank. I'm going to keep these guys, but I'm going to have them hooked up so it'll have two tanks running, just like a sump. My sump is going to have peppermint shrimp. I'm going to breed peppermint shrimp. And I'm also thinking about trying to grow corals as well. So I do have some corals in here. They look like shit right now, but I literally just moved them. I got my swordtails. These are just some of the baby swordtails, but I've got more swordtails mixed in there. I think I got a really nice sized swordtail down there, but like you can see, tanks are still settling. But yeah, so it's coming together. It still looks like shit, but this takes time. When you move this many fish tanks, it takes a long time. So like in this tank, for instance, I've got 2 rams. I'm pretty sure that's a female and a male. This tank, I think I still have 3 rams in there. I got 1 female and 1 male. I threw a worm in there for them to eat a little bit ago. A red wiggler composting worm, just a normal kind of earthworm, but it's like a composting worm. They do like them. He'll continue picking on that thing. I think I need to cut him up though before I feed him because these guys are still pretty small. Let's see what's in this. So I got 1 large male midnight ram underneath the heater back there, 1 small one. These heaters are not plugged in. I just gotta throw them in. Actually, there is 1 plugged in because these tanks are 85 degrees. I am heating the entire room. That's one of the things I'm super kind of excited about, is heating the entire room instead of heating up every single tank. So it'll be nice to have the entire room heated instead of having all these damn heaters like I had in the other house. But, you know, a couple weeks, it's going to take a couple weeks for everything to settle because I'm still using I'm still using substrate in my tanks, like a mix of dirt and gravel and sand. But I'm keeping it really shallow, like only a finger deep. It's more natural that way. I like it more that way once it actually cleans up. Right? Once it actually, you know, settles, it looks nice. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's a work in progress. I do want to have an auto feeder on each side. So I got auto feeder each side there because I have the Matten filter separating them. Matten filter, auto feeder. I am going to feed these guys like I was before, brine shrimp and other live foods. I did have a little video yesterday on these scuds. I took a bunch of the scuds out and I put them in the little tank over there. So I'm going to put an auto feeder on that too. So all of my live food cultures I'm going to treat just like my fish. They're going to be fed regularly. I'm going to pick up some Daphnia from a guy here in town that I saw on Portland Fish Club. It's not the Portland Fish Club Facebook page. It's another Portland, Oregon Fish Club fish page. PDX. I don't know what it was called. But anyways. But yeah, so I'm going to pick up some Daphnia from that guy. And I'm probably going to grow the Daphnia. I'm not really sure what I'm going to grow them in yet. If it's going to be a 10 gallon or a 20 gallon. I was thinking about growing them in this tank, but since I have the scuds in here, you don't want scuds in your tank with your plants. I also got a planaria there too. See the planaria? So I got a planaria, little bastard. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in one of my fish, like my Liberty Mollies or my Black Bar Endlers, or something that I'm not going to sell a whole bunch of, but I'll just, you know, sell them. Maybe, I don't know. I'm going to put something in this tank that I can raise that won't be a hot item at the fish stores, that I can also just sell at the clubs. So I don't know, like I don't think Liberty Mollies will sell really hot at fish stores. I also have these really cool miniature mollies that I picked up recently. I think I saw them in one of my other tanks. I hope to God they're still around here. I had an incident happen Sunday night. Not tonight, because tonight's Sunday night. It was a week ago, where I was coming to my new house from the old place, moving all of my buckets, and a guy rear-ended me and dumped a bunch of fish out all over the back of my car. So I lost a bunch of baby fish and some other fish. And I'm just like really so tired because I've been busting my ass on this. I don't know exactly what fish were in those buckets. It was like 12 o'clock at night, and I was going from 5 in the morning to 12 o'clock at night, so it was one of those days. But, so I'm kind of going through these tanks and seeing what is here, because, like that tank down there, I think I saw my miniature mollies. I can't remember what they're called, like Chicas? I don't know if that's the name or not, but it doesn't matter. This is just like a little update on my chaos. I mean, it's cool. I mean, this is a nice small room. I think it's going to be easy to keep it warm. I will insulate. I will do some more insulation. Like, these windows are going to be blocked out. I'm going to put I'll either go pick up some fiberglass or I'll just use styrofoam. But I am going to block off these windows so heat won't be escaping there. It does get cold here in Oregon. In Portland, Oregon, it does get cold in the wintertime, but not too bad. I'm from Alaska, so when I say not too bad, that's because I'm from Alaska. So I was hesitant to do this in a shed originally, but it is a nice little space. I'm sure you guys can see that it's a plywood floor, so I do worry about that. I mean, this is also a temporary location because we don't own this house. We're renting again, but I'm hoping to buy a house in a year or two. So, yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. Yeah, so this is a little update of an update. I don't know. I got to check my saltwater tank to make sure the salinity level is correct, which I know it's not because I added a bunch of RO water to raise the level to where it will actually siphon. And you can see it's doing that protein skimmer thing at the top. So that's another thing I got to figure out. Maybe I'll have that thing catching in some type of cup and I can actually skim that stuff off the top. It's kind of like a natural protein skimmer there, and it's just air going straight in the bottom, which that's what a protein skimmer is. So I don't think it's bad, but Salt Creek is going to be insane, right? I'm sure you guys are like, what the hell are you doing? But you know, we'll see how it goes. Biggest thing is I don't want these dudes to die, because this guy here, the Mocha Clown, I've had for quite a while. And I got into saltwater, guys. I got into saltwater before I got into freshwater. That's usually not the way it goes. It's usually the other way around. So I had seahorses. I had seahorses about 13 years ago, and let me tell you, the coolest thing ever to keep is seahorses. But also incredibly challenging because you cannot leave. You have to feed them several times a day, like, I don't know, 3 times a day. And they are constantly eating, and you gotta feed them frozen food or live food. They do have auto feeders now. They do have frozen auto feeders, and you can also make one. You can make a frozen auto feeder, but man, who's got time for that, right? So, all right, guys. I think this is a good enough video for now. I'm gonna go to bed. I've been doing this alongside of my normal therapy practice, so I'll be really happy when all of this is exactly where I want it to be. Because it's still kind of crazy. It's still kind of a messy, chaotic mess. But it's kind of nice having the salt water in here, you know? Like, it's kind of nice to have these clownfish right here where I can see them, because the other house, they were in the other room. And, I didn't really go into that room too much, so these guys, they weren't necessarily neglected, but I didn't get to pay as much attention to them as I normally do. I think I'm going to get them a sea anemone, because they had a sea anemone before, but it died in one of my moves. But I think if I keep this tank super bare bone, just like no... That's one of the problems, like, there's like a giant chip in this glass, I just noticed that. One of the problems when you move saltwater tanks, it's just like freshwater tanks as far as like disturbing the substrate. It just causes everything to crash, and you know, so that's one of my nightmare situations that I had to deal with. I got some weird stuff going on here, guys. Like, if you're wondering like what this is gonna be like a I'll have to show you guys in one of my videos. It's not exactly the way I want it to be, but it's going to be a kind of like a sponge filter, you know, the idea is airlift. So airlift, right? So just like how these things work, how air is down here at the very bottom, and it's creating a suction because the air, like, it creates like a displacement, so the water gets shot up. So it's the same thing here. So this is going to, it has a cup that it goes into. So the air line is going to go into this down to the bottom, and then this chamber will fill up with air, and I'll have like a sponge wrapped around it, like one of these sponges, and then on top of that, I'm going to have these micro fleece sponges that you have in oh yeah, here's one actually right here. So that super micro fleece, I don't even know what that is specifically. It's just really super fine. I'll have that wrapped around it, so it'll catch all of the really super fine particles. Not my invention, just taking other people's ideas and recreating it. It's just called an airlift pump. That's all it is, airlift pump. Yeah. One of the things I was thinking too, like I could actually drill some more holes in the very, very bottom, fill it up with some gravel. So like microfoods, like copepods, scuds, whatever could crawl in there, and that could be like their home. So you could always have like a colony where they could live. So I'll show you guys whenever I get going on that. I'm always making like this here. I made this thing like years ago, and I just kept it. So I don't throw anything away. Like the same thing with this. So it's, yeah. All right, I'm gonna go to bed now and wake up tomorrow and go back to work. And I filled this thing up with some water recently from this dirty ass tank. So this is my, oh man, what was this thing? My moss balls. So that's my moss balls. So, all right. I'm going to put this on my Facebook page and my YouTube channel so you guys can see it in places. Oh, I should probably put this in the water. I think I'm going to put this in my... This is going to be my scud tank. It is my scud tank. I put a bunch of scuds in there from like what this was. You still could probably... Yeah, there's some scuds swimming around there still. But yeah, so there we go. Just like that, folks. Look at that. There we are. All right, cool. I got auto feeders all over the place. I got auto feeders there. I got auto feeders there. I got my... I'm really into Milwaukee, as you guys can see. I got this Milwaukee. I got my dosing pump from my Kalklosser. Is also Milwaukee. So this is the salinity checker. You know, like saltwater people. You want to see what the salinity level is. You guys want to see how horrible the salinity level is in this thing? I bet it's like 0.20. Let's see how close I am. 0.20. I know it's going to be low. I know it's going to be low. It's going to be crazy low. Here we go. All right, mate. What we got here? Okay. So 0.25 is what I want, but I know it's not 0.25 because I had to add in straight water. Had to add in straight water to this thing. And with this here skimming like it is, I'm sure it'll go up. And in the temperature of this, I actually have a heater in there, so I think it's it's 80 degrees, so the water is 80 degrees. So it'll go up, but right now I bet it's 0.20 or 0.15, something really ridiculous, horrible. So this is how you check your salinity level if you do not want to mess around with looking through a stupid little screen. 0.2, yeah, what did I say? 0.20. You know, I mean, that's not good. That's actually pretty low, but it's not horrible. So, I don't know, just imagine like a freshwater current just came into the ocean with these corals and these... I mean, look how horrible this is. This is bad, but they'll come back. They'll come back. I've got all kinds of high quality stuff for these guys. So, they'll come back. I got all kinds of shit floating in here too. It's ironic. I'm sure saltwater people that are watching this are freaking out. They're like, oh my God, what are you doing? You guys want to see something really crazy? Watch what I'm about to do. You can't put salt water in fresh water? Oh my God. Yeah, well, it's not that much salt water. It won't affect them at all. It won't affect these plants. That little bit of salt water won't do anything. I often wonder, like, with all the different minerals and everything that's in the salt water, you know, because I use a special type of reef salt, you know, like it's got all your stuff in it. It's a high quality. I don't go to like Petco or any place like that. I go to a local like a high-end saltwater place. Where is my sticker? Where's the guy? Where's the guy? Right there, this guy right there. That's the guy I go to. Portland, Oregon, if you go anywhere, you've got to go here. Woody Seahorse Aquariums. Those guys are amazing. They're like your friends. They're not even like a store owner. They're like your friends. They're so cool. So cool. Great people. But that's where I go and I get all of my stuff. And he harasses me because I still don't own a house. He's like, what do you mean? You're moving again. Why didn't you move next door? He tried to get me the house. Tried to get me to buy the house next door to him because it was on sale for a little while, but it was too small. It was too small of a place. So, anyways, great guys. You always want to clean this. You don't want to leave it with salt water on it. So I'm funny. I'm really funny. This is what I did. I literally just went just like this. You want to clean it. You don't want to leave it dirty. You want to clean it. Like, this is what I just did. And then I just took just wipe it off. So funny. Just make sure you don't have salt on it, because salt crystals will give you an inaccurate reading. And then if you want to make sure it's good, go like this. Wipe it off on your shirt. Then stick this in here like that. Shoot it out a couple times. If I were to put this in the TDS meter, it'd be like 800 or something, and completely insane. But yeah, like this is gonna be like 1.00, 1 point something. I don't think there's any salt in that water. There's not enough to really measure. I'm not putting that in the reef tank, don't worry. I'm pretty careful about that kind of stuff because my substrate's got all kinds of metals and stuff in it that's not good for corals. So I'm a little careful, guys. See what that reads. It should be 1.00, 1.03. Good enough, folks. 1.00 is no salt at all. 1.03 is, I don't know what it is, but it's good enough. If I actually were to use straight RO water, it should be 1.00. So you could say, if this was straight RO water, you could say this thing is off a little bit. It needs to be recalibrated. But it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. So I'm turning it off and I'm going to bed. 22 minutes now. Thank you very much for watching. It's like, what do you do with these eggshells? Why do you got eggshells sitting there? I grind them down into a fine powder and I put them in with my fish food that I make, because it absorbs the oils and stuff from the soldier fly larva, which is a whole nother story. That's my blackworms. I'm gonna have a tray of blackworms, which is another thing I gotta figure out. I don't know where that's gonna go yet, but I'm gonna do another tray. I don't know how, I don't know what, but it's gonna happen. But for right now, I got clients in the morning I gotta be conscious for, so I better get to bed. Thank you so much for watching. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be a whole bunch of plants. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet, but it's going to be a bunch of stem plants. These are going to be trays of Bruce Philantro, whatever they are, Bruce plants, and other plants that grow like on rocks and stuff. Anubias. See, I got plants, but like since I had to rip everything out of my tank, everything's a mess. My little micro tank in my office, that has super high-end plants. So these stem plants, and then this little bitty guy there. This is an Anubias, a pretty large Anubias. So I just got to go through my tanks and find my cool stem plants, and then just start them back like that. And I'm gonna do one tank with deep substrate. That's what these buckets are. That's a deep substrate. That's a deep substrate. I got a pile of deep substrate that I dumped in the yard outside because I didn't know where else to put it. So yeah, there's still a lot to be done, but it's starting to feel a little more like I'm getting somewhere in this chaos. So, all right, cool. All right, well, thank you very much for watching on my YouTube channel. If you guys are actually starting to watch my YouTube channel, say something, you know? Say, yo, what's up? You crazy. What the hell are you doing? You're out of control. People don't do that. It's not right. Something. I don't know. Okay, folks, thank you very much. Have a great night.